Introducing YouTube memberships, a fun way to support the channel while getting some exclusive perks. Click the join button to become a member now and get benefits like badges next to your name on videos, behind-the-scenes photos, advantages during the live trivia game, discounts on merchandise, private one-on-one video chats, the ability to request future video topics, and exclusive 8 to 10 minute videos on the history of the NFL. And now, on with our feature presentation. October 16, 2023. It's week 6 of the NFL season, and as we wrap up this week, we have a Monday Night Football game on our hands under the lights at SoFi Stadium between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Chargers. For the main subject in our story, the Dallas Cowboys, this is a pretty big game for them. They're coming off of an embarrassing loss to the San Francisco 49ers, and having dropped 2 out of 3, they really can't afford to lose this one and fall to 500 going into the bye week. Plus, the Philadelphia Eagles lead the NFC East with a 5-1 record, and they just picked up their first loss of the season. So a win here would only get you to a game back, and would allow you to keep pace in what is looking like a 2-horse race for the division crown and the possibility of home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So if you're the Cowboys, you've got to be on your A game tonight against a decent Chargers team. You can't play like you did last week against the 49ers in that Sunday night drubbing. You just can't. And the good news for the Cowboys, at least, is that they're playing pretty well at the start. No, it's not resulting in a ton of points, but it's a 7-7 ball game. The defense has come to play. And offensively, on their last 4 drives, they've netted 172 yards. So they're moving the ball well on this Chargers defense. Now, after a good defensive stop, you've got the ball with a minute left at your own 29-yard line and 2 timeouts to play with. A good drive here, and you can take the lead going into the halftime break. And following 3 straight chunk plays that counted, including a 23-yard pass to CeeDee Lamb, an 11-yard pass to Michael Gallup, and a 15-yard pass to Ferguson, with another 15-yard penalty added on an unnecessary roughness penalty, the Cowboys find themselves at the 17-yard line, with 14 seconds left and 2 timeouts. Talk about moving the ball down the field effectively, quickly, and efficiently. You've got a shot at the end zone. You've got time for 2 or maybe even 3 plays, depending on how this goes, to make the lead 14-7. At this point, 3 points would be a bit of a letdown. So let's see what happens on first down at the 17 with 14 seconds left.
Good protection underneath Pollard.
Not sure I agree with that. Dak, what does that pass do? The check down there moves you up 3 yards, but do you really need to do that when you're already in field goal range and when you're trying to score a touchdown? Interesting play, interesting decision by you, but hey, there's still 8 seconds left. You've got plenty of time to call a play. Heck, you've even got 2 timeouts in your back pocket, so there is no risk here. If you're this man right here, head coach Mike McCarthy, it's super simple. Call a timeout here to stop the clock at 8 seconds. And then, take 1 shot. And then if it doesn't work, you can kick the field goal right then and there. So let's see the play that the Cowboys ran after the timeout with 8 seconds left.
And he's been terrific.
Editor? This is not what I asked for. Come on, man. Listen to me. Come on. How many times do I have to go over this? This is the play with 3 seconds left, not 8 seconds. Yeah, they're lining up for the field goal now because there's 3 seconds, and that's not enough time to run a play. But what did they do with 8 seconds that clearly got them into this spot where they couldn't get into the end zone? I'm giving you one more chance, editor. Show me the play that I asked for.
And he's been terrific.
Jesus Christ, you are useless. This means either one of 2 things. Either I need to replace you because you are just a thorn in my side and do nothing to benefit me, or you're somehow telling me the truth and giving me exactly what I asked for. And Mike McCarthy was dumb enough to let 5 seconds run off the clock and not even try for another play. But there's no way that could possibly be right. There's no way that could possibly be wrong. Come on!
With 8 seconds on the clock, it's what I was expecting, that you take at least a shot into the end zone.
Welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something to look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something to look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. Well, Mike, you did it. You made history. And I had a feeling you'd accomplish this sooner rather than later. But you did the impossible. You are the first ever coach in the Six Timers Club. You are the first coach to ever appear on Dumb Decisions 6 times. It's like the 5 Timers Club on Saturday Night Live, but with one more instance, and for idiots. Instead of getting the iconic jacket, I don't know what you get here. I never thought I'd get this far. But it is truly amazing just how bad McCarthy has been from an in-game management standpoint during his time with the Cowboys. It started in 2020 with his horrible coaching during the Thanksgiving game against the Washington football team, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. Then, he called an absolutely idiotic timeout in a 2021 game against the New England Patriots that made no sense, which you can learn more about by clicking the card in the upper right corner. He followed that up during the 2022 season with not 1, not 2, but 3 brain farts that appeared on this show. Starting with his Sunday Night Football gaffe against the Eagles, where he didn't challenge an obvious first down, then went for it on 4th and an inch by throwing a 12-yard pass. You know the drill, upper right corner. He then cost his team the game with a bizarre decision in overtime against the Green Bay Packers that never seemed to make any logical sense, which once again, yada yada yada, upper right corner. And of course, you had the ending of the divisional round game against the San Francisco 49ers, with the genius strategy on the final play of the game to have running back Ezekiel Elliott playing center, and what was a great final memory for him as a Dallas Cowboy. Bada bing, bada boom, upper right corner. No coach should be appearing on this segment highlighting the worst of the worst 6 times, but Mike McCarthy has somehow found a way. And no, I don't care that the Cowboys won the game, and this decision ultimately didn't matter in the long run. It's like if you're playing your opponent in golf and you win the match, but on the 6th hole, which is a 140-yard par 3, you hit a driver at full power. Sure, it didn't matter, and sure you won, but it doesn't make it any less stupid. So with that being said, and with that lengthy intro out of the way, let's take a look at why letting 5 seconds run off the clock when you had a timeout in your back pocket, thereby settling for 3 points, is a really bad idea. The crazy part about this is that in a situation like this, barring a turnover, there's no risk whatsoever. Sure, if you turn it over, you walk away empty-handed and you walk away with nothing. But you can't coach scared in a situation like that. Number one, this isn't even taking into account the fact that you should have called timeout after the first down catch by Michael Gallup at the 37-yard line, instead of letting 20 additional seconds tick off the clock for no reason. So you never should have been in this spot in the first place, where you're leaving the half with a timeout in your back pocket. That's inexcusable. But number two, there is no way whatsoever that a play like this takes 8 seconds. If you call the timeout right away, with 8 seconds on the clock, I guarantee you that you won't be in a spot from the 14-yard line where you're going to risk running out the clock. 5 seconds left? Totally, you made the right call. 6 seconds left? I get it. Heck, even 7 seconds left. It's close, but I can see. But 8 seconds? You absolutely have time to get a play off and finish, especially because you have another timeout to work with in case things go haywire. And number three, this just tells me on the surface that you don't trust Dak Prescott, even though he hadn't turned the ball over yet, and even though on his last 4 passes of the drive, he completed all 4 of them. Prescott was 7 for his last 8 throwing the football, and in the first half, he was 15 for 20, completing 75% of his passes, and also scoring a touchdown with his legs. You're at the 14-yard line, and you've got some big-time weapons on this team where you can absolutely pick up the 14 yards necessary with one shot to the end zone. Heck, on this drive alone, Prescott completed multiple passes longer than 14 yards. There's not a ton of risk here. The only bad thing that can happen is that he turns it over. But again, with the way he was playing, you have to trust him. It's not worth it otherwise. The reward is that you can go into the half up by 7 points, which is a pretty big deal. If it doesn't work out, okay, you kick the field goal and you go up by 3, which is the exact same best case scenario as if you were to do whatever the heck you just did. So why not go for it? This is like not playing the free space on your bingo card. This is like if you're out grocery shopping and have a coupon that expires today, and you decide not to use it. Like, there's no real reason not to do it. There's no risk at all. Prescott's playing well enough to know the situation. And even if it doesn't work out and the clock keeps running, you've got a timeout to work with. And the play is not going to take 8 seconds and have the half expire. I truly mean it. This was as close to a no-risk situation as you could have in a spot like that. But you're not going to believe this, folks. Trust me, you're not going to believe this. After the game, Mike McCarthy was asked to explain his rationale behind whatever the heck happened at the end of the first half. As for what he said, I'm just speechless. Said McCarthy on his decision to let 5 seconds run off the clock and not try a play. We just decided to play it safe. I just felt the way the game was going, I think we had a holding penalty earlier on the series. I just wanted to make sure we got the points and got out of there. So let me get this straight. You were afraid to call the play there because you were scared that you would get called for holding? That's the reason? This is somehow the most nonsensical explanation that you could have come up with. This is somehow the stupidest rationale I have ever heard for a situation like this. I didn't even consider this as a possibility. I thought you were scared to turn it over. But somehow, this is even worse. This is a million times worse. There's 2 major flaws with that argument. Number 1, that's coaching extremely scared. Way to have faith in your players. Way to believe in what your guys are doing and believe that they can avoid screwing up. Yeah, we decided not to do it because you never know. They could call holding. Good job. But number 2, so what? Seriously, Mike, so what if you get called for holding? I'm not going to deny it. Referee Lan Clark and his crew were throwing a crap ton of flags. Trust me, I get it. But let's say you do get called for holding. The ball is at the 14-yard line. Holding is a 10-yard penalty. Okay, so you get pushed back to the 24-yard line. This means they are now trying a 42-yard field goal. Your kicker, Brandon Aubrey, entered this game going 14 for 14 on the season. A 42-yard field goal is an absolute chip shot for just about any kicker in this league, including Aubrey. It's one thing if you were at, let's say, the 33-yard line, and a holding penalty could make this a much longer field goal. But do you really not have faith in your kicker hitting a 42-yard field goal? Do you have faith in anyone on your team? Seriously. A holding penalty changes the field goal from a near automatic kick to a near automatic kick. It changes nothing. So your fear was completely unfounded and completely stupid. This whole dumb decision can be summed up with one sentence like this. Mike McCarthy passed up a possible touchdown because he was afraid in a completely hypothetical scenario that his kicker, who was 100% on the season, could not hit a 42-yard field goal. This either means one of 2 things. Either you need to find a new kicker, which is asinine, seeing as Aubrey is perfect and is one of the best kickers in football, the man has not missed, or you need to stop coaching like an absolute coward and think about things for more than 2 seconds. I don't know what it is, but every single primetime game this week had something stupid happen with a coach or a player not knowing the clock situation at the end of the first half. I don't even know how that's possible. It started off with the Broncos-Chiefs game on Thursday Night Football, where Sean Payton just gifted the Chiefs 3 free points by calling a timeout for no reason whatsoever, because the Chiefs need any more help. Then we had whatever happened on Sunday night in the Giants-Bills game, where Tyrod Taylor did, I don't even know how to process what he did. I'm still trying to figure it out. And then we had, well, whatever the heck Mike McCarthy did in the game between these two teams behind me right here. Oh man, these primetime games are killing me. I'm losing my sanity with this season. We're only a third of the way through. These coaches are making me losing my mind. So what do we learn from all of this? If you have a chance at the end of the half to score a touchdown, and there's no real risk involved at all in doing so, then go for the touchdown. Why not? Seriously, man, why not? If you're scared that your kicker cannot hit a 42-yard field goal, then you seriously need to reevaluate things. And if you don't have trust in your team, despite your team giving you no evidence otherwise, whether you don't have trust in your quarterback, your offensive line, or your kicker, then you also seriously need to reevaluate things. And also, if your name is Mike McCarthy, you seriously need to reevaluate things. This is happening way too much. You need to just do the opposite of whatever your gut tells you to do in crucial situations. Because this is just pathetic on so many levels. And it's been pathetic for the last 4 years. Because when all of these elements are in play, you can't exactly be surprised when this play backfires. Talk about a dumb decision. Get your official Jaguar Gear 9 merchandise by going to jj9shop.com, and be sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Join me every Wednesday night where we'll play NFL Trivia for cash prizes at 9 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. To learn more about the history of college football, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 8. To learn more about the history of Major League Baseball, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 7. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping out the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.